Today we're going to be having girl talk. We are going to be doing a vulnerable type of video, kind of like a Q&A. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, go follow me on TikTok, dark underscore skinned underscore Keisha. I did ask my TikTok followers to ask me just a few questions to get in my business, pretty much. Um, they're kind of like mature questions, whether it may just be on life, love, lessons. They asked me quite a few questions, so I'll just pick maybe like 7 or 8 questions to answer. And then yeah, this will be our little Q&A girl talk. If you have not already, please subscribe, comment, like the videos, y'all. Like, blow me up, get me lit. Like, y'all, I should have way more followers than I do now. I woke up one morning and I was close to 70 followers, right? I kid y'all not. I probably checked like 10 minutes later. Why I lost 10 subscribers? And I don't know if it's because I did change my content. Like I was doing like comedy shorts. I had like almost 70,000 views. So I think that's where the loss came from, which is cool. I understand, like, everybody does not like certain content, so that's perfectly fine. But yes, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe, share it with a friend, tell that friend to share it with another friend, tell that friend to tell the other friend to share it with another friend. All right, y'all, so let's get started. All right, y'all, so the first question that I see is, what is something that you are still healing from? um I don't think that I'm necessarily still healing from it, but I do think that I am healing from what I thought could have been or what I wished could have been. And I would have to say that would be my last relationship. Um, I was in that relationship for quite a few years. We didn't break up for any infidelity or any unfaithfulness or lying or anything like that. When you're in a relationship and as time goes on, you just realize that some things just don't work out, whether that may be just differences on money or differences on roles within a relationship. Sometimes people just grow apart, and I think that is something that I'm still healing over, just because I thought that that last relationship would be my actual last relationship. I thought that was going to be my husband. So yeah, I am still healing from what I wish or what I thought could have been, because after that breakup, so many things happened, including like graduation, and I wasn't able to celebrate that with that person because I started when I was with him, and things just don't work out. But yeah, shout out to him. Ooh, when was the last time I cried? Okay, so if you don't know, I did go to school for cybersecurity. And so I applied to a job maybe like, I want to say it was less than 20 days after graduation. And it was a six-figure position. I applied to it and I ended up getting an interview or an email to have an interview maybe like a couple of days later. So I was geeked, I was hyped. So I studied, I got some help from a friend or an old friend that I went to high school with, and he kind of like, helped me out or whatever to prepare and all of this. So did the interview. The interview went well. Ended up getting an email, like a follow up email. They just wanted to ask me a few questions pertaining to IT, kind of to like gauge my knowledge and where I was. So I'm geek, like I'm like, oh, they're interested in me. I didn't hear nothing else back, y'all. And I kept checking for the job. The job ended up um like being taken down. So I'm like, gosh, I really, wanted that job. A couple of weeks later, the job was back up. Yeah. So that was the last thing I cried about. But I'm a big girl, so like I'll cry and then I'll be laughing the next couple of minutes. So it is. What's a mistake that changed you for the better? Thinking that everybody has my best interest at heart. That is one mistake that I made for quite some time, like for years and years. And I recently realized that everybody, and I know like people say that all the time, but when you become friends with people, you think that those are your friends, so you're going to think that your friends is going to always have your best interest at heart. That's not the case. Sometimes people become friends with you because of what you have, or what, or how you can make them look, or for your knowledge, or just whatever. And that's a hard truth, and a hard lesson that I recently have just gone through. Y'all, I've been lost about 98% of my friends. Like, and it's not even me losing them. I just cut a lot of people off just for that main reason. Honestly, what do you do when you feel behind in life? Um, Honestly, I just pray about it, and I think about how far I've come. Um, the jobs that I used to have, the struggles that I used to have, I no longer have. Those jobs I no longer work. And so I just look back on my life, um, and I'm just thankful because I've come a long way. And I do know that it is easy to be on social media, and social media can make anybody feel like they're behind, just because they aren't married, or because they don't have kids, or because they're single and they've been single for years, or because they're at a job and they're still at level one of that job. One thing that I have learned is what God has for you is going to be for you, not on our timing, but on His timing. And it's things that God has to do within us to be able to prepare us for marriage, for these jobs, a better income, because some of us are irresponsible with the income that He's given us currently, and we're asking for more money or more income, and we can't even do right with what He's given us. And so I think once I realized that aspect, um, I was able to know, like, you know what, it's gonna happen for me in God's timing. And so because I have faith and I trust in it, I honestly don't ever feel that anymore. And when I do, I snap out of it quick. So how do you deal with comparison? I don't deal with it at all, because you can't compare when you don't compete. No, I was just playing. I don't know. Like, that's an interesting question. I myself try not to compare anyone, and I don't like to be compared with or against anyone else, because we're all different. We all have our own individual characteristics. And so yeah, I don't like to compare. I think that we all can work together to get each other to where everyone wants or needs to be. So I yeah. What is your biggest insecurity right now? I don't think that this is an insecurity. I don't think so, but I'm currently working in one career, and I'm just ready to get into IT cybersecurity. But I will say one of my biggest insecurities when it comes to that is just getting a position and kind of like not knowing what to do, or like where to start. I think, and I don't even know why I feel like that, because I catch on so quick, like really, really quick. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, so another thing, my braces, right? My teeth at the bottom are moving. I have a gap at the bottom of my teeth. I've never had a gap at the bottom of my teeth, but all of a sudden now I have a gap down here. And I know, like, when you get your braces, your teeth shift a certain way. And I have to say, like, my first YouTube, I did not even realize it, y'all, until I did my first YouTube video. And when I watched it back, like on my TV, I was like, oh my God, I have a gap at the bottom of my teeth. And I don't like that. What's the hardest lesson love has taught you? Mm, the hardest lesson that love has taught me, some people aren't as patient as you. Some people aren't as willing as you are. Some people are not as understanding as you are. And I think because of those things, um, certain people or other people don't look at love and relationships the same way that you may look at it. Like, if I'm in a relationship and it's something that I'm normally irritated by, or you may be lashing out this week, or whatever the case may be, I'm so patient and understanding that because I love you and I know you love me, I'm going to try to be there for you in whatever you're going through. I'm not going to kind of like crucify for you, like, like some people do that. And Another thing is that sometimes, love just doesn't last forever in certain situations, and that's just a hard pill to swallow. Have you ever stayed somewhere where you knew you should have left a long time ago? Um, are we talking about places or people? Places, yeah, maybe. Jobs, of course. Relationships, I would say relationships like when I was younger, definitely, definitely, of course. This I had this one relationship, y'all. Oh my God, Lord, I dated this guy that I was working with, and I should have left. First of all, I shouldn't even been in that relationship to begin with because he wasn't even my type, y'all. To be honest, I was bored and I was going through some things, and it just happened. And oh my God, the worst relationship, negative 0 out of 10. Yeah. Ooh, if you know, you know. Let's not talk about it. Let's. Ooh, what does healthy love look for you now? I think healthy love to me now is, of course, God being in the center of it, because I feel like with God in the center of it, I feel like everything else is going to flow and fall the way that it should. I think that it'll be understanding there. It'll be caring there, loving, forgiveness. Like it'll be easy for me and my person to forgive each other for certain things. Now, I'm not talking about cheating and all that line of stuff. I mean, in relationships, we can kind of like lash out at someone or maybe forget something, or maybe we're so caught up in dealing with work or our own feelings and emotions going on that we don't see that our person needs us emotionally or mentally or financially or whatever the case may be. And so I think that going forward, I honestly think that I was a good partner in my last relationship, but I know for a fact that I'm going to be a better partner. And so yeah, I'm excited about that. My next relationship is going to be my husband. I know that for sure. How do you set boundaries without guilt? I have recently just started doing this. I talked about it earlier with the whole friend thing. You have to set boundaries. Listen, you have to set boundaries. For quite some time, a lot of people who were associates or friends would continuously and constantly ask me to borrow money. Sometimes I would get it back, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes these people, I wouldn't hear from these people for months, and then they'll hit me up. Not a hey, how you doing? Not a what you doing? Is do you have this amount of money? Do you have that amount of money? And because in my mind, I always felt like, well, God gave it to me, and I feel like God has put me on earth to help other people. I conditioned my mind to think that I had to do these things. No, no, people were using me because the moment that I stood like made those boundaries, and I'm like, no, I have my own responsibilities, baby. I pay rent, and my car note is, listen, it's up there. My rent is up there. I pay it myself. I take care of everything by myself. Nobody was asking me, hey, do you need anything? Do you need this? Do you need that? None of that. It was always, can I, can I, can I? And I realized once I started giving it out, my phone stopped ringing. Guys, when I say my phone do not ring, whether it's text message, no. No, I could count two people, literally, like as far as friends. My best friend from high school and a friend that I met when I was working at the prison, who I went to the Galentine's with. Other than that, my phone does not ring. So set those boundaries, because when you set those boundaries, you're going to realize who's for you and who's not. And plus, it's all about respecting. Who are you becoming? I am becoming a wealthy, healthy, beautiful, hardworking, credentialified. I don't even know if that's a word, but um, I'm becoming her. I'm definitely becoming her. Like, I've always been her, and if you know me for real, you know that I've always been her since about maybe 2021. But I'm really, really becoming her. Everything that I've ever dreamed of, I'm touching, is happening. Even if I can't see it right now, I know that God is making it happen for me. So I'm excited about that. That's who I'm becoming. I'm becoming her. Okay, what version of yourself are you proud of? I am proud of myself for just overcoming every obstacle, overcoming every heartache, every thing that was sent to break me, everything that made me question myself or doubted myself. I am just proud that I am where I am today mentally and emotionally, because it did take a lot of work. It really and truly did, especially after my breakup. Like the way that my breakup happened and everything, that took a lot out of me, and made me question myself in so many different ways. So yeah, just overcoming. Yeah. If you could talk to your younger self, what would you tell your younger self? If I could tell my younger self anything, I would say to stay focused. Number one, stay focused. Like, write out all your goals, pray about your goals, ask that your goals are aligned with God's will for your life. And then just stay focused when it comes to those goals. If you want to be a content creator, be a content creator. If you want to go to college and be a doctor, be a surgeon, be um, work in cybersecurity, if you want to go into the military, whatever it is that you want to do, do it. Don't wait for anybody else's approval, and just always know that whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. Stay the course. That is literally the best advice that I would give my younger self. All right, guys, so that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. That's all I ask for, y'all. That's all I ask for. All right, guys, so stay tuned for the next video.